aircraft are sent to escort the rogue plane and force it to land somewhere outside of the ADIZ. In extreme cases, a plane could be shot down by military aircraft. That was nearly the situation in June of 2004 when a plane carrying the governor of Kentucky, destined for Reagan National Airport, entered the flight-restricted zone with a broken transponder. As a result, the Capitol building was evacuated, and generals at NORAD came close to ordering the plane to be shot down. By some estimates, today there are half as many general aviation flights in the Washington, D.C. area as there were before the implementation of the ADIZ. How has this decrease in general aviation activity impacted airports and the region as a whole?
There have been studies where we've seen more than 100 jobs have been lost at these airports. There's less flight instruction going on. That affects the flight instructors. There's less airplane traffic. That affects people that operate the businesses, whether it's mechanics or fuel services for the aircraft. It's widespread, and it's being felt by all the aviation-related businesses.
Not just for this geographical area, nationally. So you're not going to sell as many airplanes, you're not going to sell as many aircraft parts, you're not going to sell the fuel. I mean, it just bounds off of that. So when you impact the aviation industry, you're going to impact the entire economy.
How would you say that, does the ADIZ in any way affect you financially from flying in and out of these airports?
In the last 8 months, the answer would have to be no. Over the course of the next 8 months, the answer is probably a little bit, because right now I'm pretty much going straight out west to the Hogue intersection and flying out that way. But I'm anticipating beginning to fly, a little bit more in more directions than that. And I'd love to go over towards the Eastern Shore, for example. And having to make that detour around the ADIZ is going to be expensive.
So you can't fly direct over DC?
No.
Or,
well, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And that's not, I wouldn't, that's okay, but flying just a little bit south of DC would make it nice and easy. That's not possible either.
The pilot must maintain constant communication with the air traffic controller while in the ADIZ. Only when the destination airport is within sight is the pilot granted permission by the air traffic controller to switch over to that airport's radio frequency, which is essential to communicate with other pilots operating around the airport.
Potomac approach, Diamond Star 377 Delta Sierra is Leesburg in sight. Okay, Roger, radar service terminates 10 miles west of Leesburg. Good traffic, about 6 northwest and down landing as well, Cessna 172. And then that transponder code to get on the ground, change to Unicom script. Looking for traffic, and we'll stay on the ground, stay on the frequency until on the ground. Diamond Star 377 Delta Sierra.
In your personal opinion, do you feel that DC is a safer place for having the ADIZ?
Is it safer? Yes. Specifically because the ADIZ does provide a buffer. Now, the buffer is more, which people probably don't understand, more to the benefit of general aviation than it is for the security. The freeze is what's providing the security. The ADIZ is providing the U.S. government time to identify the lost pilot. We give you 15 miles to either realize that you're someplace you shouldn't be, fix your radio, find the right controller to talk to, or we have a big airplane come up and buzz you and get your attention, of which you'll turn around and skedaddle. So the ADIZ is predominantly to provide ability to identify and prevent an accidental shoot down. The FRZ is more of the holy grail, where it's there to provide actual physical protection.
I don't feel that the ADIZ has made Washington, D.C. safer. I feel that general aviation needs to be compared to other modes of transportation, and it really needs to be addressed as a risk-based approach and not a feel-good measure. AOPA's position is that we would like to have the ADIZ eliminated. However, we have offered alternatives, such as looking at the weight and the speed of aircraft and perhaps eliminating or changing the ADIZ requirements for slower and lighter aircraft. The typical general aviation aircraft is about the size of an SUV, and it carries about as much fuel as an SUV, and it weighs about as much as a Honda Civic weighs when it's fully loaded. They are quite small, They fly at slow speeds and do not carry a lot of cargo.
Leesburg traffic, damage star 377 Delta Sierra is turning base for 35 Leesburg.
In 2005, the FAA proposed making the ADIZ permanent and requested public comments as part of the rulemaking process. Over 20,000 public comments were submitted, most of them in opposition to the ADIZ. The FAA has been placed in the tough position of ensuring the security of our nation's capital while maintaining aviation commerce and the personal freedoms Americans enjoy in leisurely flights. Although no final decision has been made, the FAA is expected to propose a reduction in the size of the ADIZ to make flying around Washington easier.
One of the proposals that is being discussed is to reduce and make it one uniformed distance from one single VOR, which will make it a lot easier for general aviation and the novice pilot to navigate off of. So part of the concept is to reduce the size to improve the ability to avoid it. Plus it provides a uniform line for defense.
Leesburg traffic, damage star 377 Delta Sierra is turning final